Let's talk about Bitcoin. What's up, guys? Good morning. Happy Sunday, everyone. Beautiful day here once again in Marbella, Spain. Standing down in the harbor, you see Lady Aya, the largest ship here in the port right behind me. And guys, today I'm going to look at a chart with you guys that is not the Bitcoin chart, but nonetheless, it's one of the most important charts that has been indicating the start of bull runs for Bitcoin in the past. And I'm talking about a chart that, of course, has a huge impact as well on the macroeconomic situation and everything that's going on in all the other markets. This is the chart that everyone should be looking at right now to see whether we're going onto a bull run for Bitcoin or not. Of course, I've called the bottom for Bitcoin a month ago. I talked about the $17,500 Bitcoin price as my ultimate bottom for Bitcoin. I made a really bold statement saying that we will never go lower again. And so far, this bottom has held, but of course things are not looking too strong in the markets yet. There's a lot of volume missing still for us to really get a bounce here and then break certain resistance levels to get back up. Now let's head over into the charts, but before anything I gotta thank you guys. Thanks for liking my videos, thanks for watching my videos, thanks for supporting me here. I appreciate every single one of you. And if you're new to the channel, make sure not only to smash the like button here to help me out with the algorithm, also make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell to get notified whenever I update the Bitcoin price, no matter where the market is going, up, down or sideways. Now guys, let's dive into the charts. Alright guys, here we are now, the dollar index, the US dollar index on top and the Bitcoin USD price on the bottom. And what I want to focus on is those yellow lines that I marked. We're starting here with July 2013. And what we can see here, focusing first on the dollar chart, is that we rallied up from there, then put in a double top here and broke down from there. And then if you look down at the Bitcoin chart, from then on, we started rallying to our high here of $1,300 back in 2013, 2014, right? And then we move over to the next instance. That's not the only occasion where the dollar topped out and then Bitcoin started rallying immediately. So let's move over here. Next instance was in January 2017. And then once again, we can see it here on the top. The US dollar topped out once again, broke down from there, and then Bitcoin went on this huge rally where it put in the 20K all-time high in 2017. You can see it right here, a Bitcoin price of roughly $500 or $600, and then went up all the way to 20K by the end of the year 2017. And that was not the last instance. It happened again, a date that's very fresh in mind for a lot of people, of course still for most of the world. The beginning of the pandemic, we know what happened in March 2020 for Bitcoin. We started rallying like crazy. So what we have here now is a double top formation, a very bearish setup, of course. And now, of course, this is very interesting, guys, with the weekly candle coming to a close, potentially putting in a double top here for the US dollar and therefore potentially indicating the start of the bull run for Bitcoin. Right, guys, as you saw, all markets, due to the US dollar situation, are in a very tight spot right now. And historically, we've seen every time the US dollar topped out, Bitcoin went on a huge bull run. So we got to keep our eyes on that, but that's not the only thing that we got to keep our eyes on tonight. Of course, the futures opening again after a very strong rebound of all markets, including traditional markets last week. We got to see how they open again on Monday from Asia, Europe and the US. I'll keep my eyes on that for you guys, so make sure to follow me over on Twitter as well to get more constant updates. Now, before I wrap it up, I want to go also into some more short-term stuff for the Bitcoin price. So I'm going to look at the 4-hourly chart, the daily chart, the weekly chart. We got a massive close for Bitcoin as well. On the weekly chart, we got a major candle close, a first time ever for Bitcoin as well. So make sure to stick around all the way until the end of the video. All right, guys. Of course, here, this is the chart that I've used to call the exact bottom for Bitcoin with the Fibonacci retracement. Once again, here coming from March 2020 all the way up till the 69K top here, wick till wick. And here we landed on the 78.6, right around 17,500. That's where my prediction came from, in line with another few indicators that I've been looking at since the beginning of the year, the 200-week SMA and the 50-month SMA that we can see here. Here we can only see it very shortly since this chart doesn't go back very far. But you can see we're sitting on top of it now. That's something else that I talked about. We want to end up back above it since we've never ever closed a monthly candle below the 50-month SMA. And that lays right around 21,300. Now let's move down to the weekly chart where I told you there's a massive close this week. A first time ever for Bitcoin. Here you guys can see it. Something else that we're very familiar with, of course. Here's one very bearish thing, but in a second I'm also going to show you something very bullish here. And therefore I want to go back once again the date that's so important in today's video, March 2020, where we briefly dipped below the 200-week SMA, of course, the pink moving average here, but then recovered quickly. Never had consecutive weeks where we stayed below the 200-week SMA. Here, this will be the very first time in history, if Bitcoin, of course, doesn't do anything crazy now, and by 2 a.m. Central European time, rallies back above, right around 22,400 right now, but that's what I wanted to point out. First time ever that Bitcoin not only significantly closed below the 200-week SMA outside of a black swan event. I mean, we can take the entire geopolitical and macroeconomic situation as a black swan event, but this has all been priced into the market already. So now standing below here is just lack of volume due to fear in the market, of course. Do you always see these pictures of everyone lining up at the cashier buying Bitcoin at 69K, but no one wanting to buy it at 30K or at 20K or whatever the price is? This has always been true for Bitcoin. Whenever the mainstream gives up on Bitcoin, that's when we start rallying again. And of course, with the dollar indication right now on the dollar index, putting in that double top, very likely that we've seen the bottom here. And that would be awesome, guys, because I've been calling for this 20K region and the specific 17,500 Bitcoin price now for weeks and months. And I hope you guys support me a little bit with it and let everyone know to make sure they follow as well and get Bitcoin updates from me. I'm happy to grow my community here. I'm here to stay and I rely on you guys to help me out with it. So guys, please make sure to also share the videos with your friends, comment down below just to break this algorithm. All right, so now I also promised you, of course, something bullish here on this chart. And for that, I'm going to pull up the RSI. You can see here the weekly RSI. This is of course something that I showed you guys as well in the past if you've been watching my video and also been following me on social media. And here you can see it that we reached the support level of this massive falling wedge that has been forming here since August 2020. So a massive pattern here, a bullish pattern for Bitcoin, where seemingly we have reached the bottom now, the support. And of course, this is what we want to keep our eyes on as well. How does the weekly candle close and how do we continue after that? Is it really that we found the bounce here also on this pattern, giving us this massive bullish divergence? This, of course, is a very bullish scenario here for Bitcoin that I'm talking about today, depending as well on the macroeconomics, on the dollar index situation. We need to confirm the support here and break the trend. And for that, now let's go down to the daily chart as well. I want to look at something there. And here it is, talking of the trend, of course, the downtrend here that we've been in since the 48K top that we put in the end of March here. And then, of course, to confirm those breakouts on the larger time frames, we need to break the first trend line here. Start putting in higher highs, break the previous range highs here and get back above 31 to 32K. That would be an extremely strong indicator that Bitcoin is going on a massive pump here. And now I want to go down to the 4-hourly chart as well, of course, to look at what's going on there so we can get ready in case Bitcoin decides to break out. We need to see where the line in the sand lies on the top. What do we need to break to confirm the breakout for Bitcoin? And here we have it, something you're familiar with if you've been following. Of course, like all these charts that I've been looking at, they have been the exact same for weeks and months now. And here, of course, I'm looking once again at the Fibonacci retracement coming from the range highs right here to the range lows right here. And I've said it a few times in the past, look how perfectly these levels here are being respected. If you draw Fibonacci retracement levels correctly, you'll be surprised how strong of an indication, almost like tracks of a train. You can see it here, 38.2, this line here, the bottom red line, one of the key levels here in the high compression area for Fibonacci retracement between the 38.2 and the 61.8, the upper white line here in the retracement. And then you can see how we move perfectly sideways here. And as I told you guys, we often have fake outs in this area. And there you can see also we got rejected exactly at the 78.6, the upper red line. In line here also with the red moving average, the 50 EMA here on the 4-hourly chart, that has been extremely strong resistance in the past. One of the moving averages that I like to use on the smaller time frames. I use the EMAs more on the smaller time frames since they're weighted more towards the latest price for Bitcoin, and the SMAs are weighted more towards the overall average price for Bitcoin, so I'll use them more on the larger time frames. And as soon as we got rejected from that very strong area, we went back down here to the 38.2, and now we're trading sideways exactly here throughout the weekend between the 61.8, the upper white line, and the 78.6, the upper red line once again. Our level here to break, our line in the sand, you can see it in orange, 21,600. That's where we want to close a 4-hourly candle above to confirm the breakout here on this smaller scale. And then of course, let's move over to the support and resistance levels here on the 4-hourly chart. And here it is, you can see it, something else that I've been posting a lot about, and the main thing that I want to focus on here is the orange box, the top of the orange box. That's coming from the previous range highs right here, and you can see it in the writing, need to close above range high to confirm major breakout. And that would take us then of course to levels as high as 26K and even 30K. But we've seen it on the daily chart and on the weekly chart. There's a few things that we need to do to confirm this breakout here. And we gotta hope, of course, that the geopolitical situation and the macroeconomics don't throw a curveball at us again. But for now, it looks like we established the bottom pretty firmly here, and we can expect a rally like I've been talking about in the last days and weeks. Bitcoin needs a relief rally. I will of course make sure to inform you what the levels are to break to differentiate between a relief rally or a dead cat bounce and an actual rally that could take us on a bull run. Right guys, not only did we make it to the end of the video, we also made it to the end of the harbor. I hope you enjoyed a bit of a tour here today. I walked through the entire port today. It was not very busy this morning, so I used the opportunity for that. And yeah, check out this beautiful spot that I'm at right now, right here at the beach where I'm about to take a dip. It's pretty hot, not only in the markets, but also here, even though it's early in the morning. And of course, guys, thank you for everyone who watched all the way until the end of the video. Thanks for everyone liking, any kind of engagement. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please make sure to hit the subscription button and the notification bell to get notified whenever I update the Bitcoin price every single day, no matter where the market is going, up, down, or sideways. And now guys, I'm gonna take a dip now, go into the water, cool off. And for you guys, keep your eyes on all the things that I mentioned earlier. I will do the same and keep updating you. And as always, happy trading and see you very soon.